All right, hello and welcome. So, if you're the kind of person who's just fascinated by human history and culture, you've definitely landed in the right spot. We're going to dive into a complete career guide for anyone thinking about becoming an anthropologist or archaeologist, and we're using some amazing insights from the Sociology Coach to do it.
I mean, seriously, who hasn't, right? That idea of piecing together the grand story of humanity is just so compelling. And that's what this career path is all about. It's about taking that curiosity you have and turning it into a real profession. Think of it as part detective work, part scientific discovery.
Okay, so here's our game plan. First, we'll cover what an anthropologist really does. Then, we'll look at the day-to-day, your academic roadmap, careers beyond the dig site, and finally, a 5-step action plan to get you going.
All right, let's kick things off with a big picture. Now, when you hear anthropologists, you might immediately think of someone like Indiana Jones, right? And look, the reality is honestly just as exciting, though, maybe with a little more paperwork. So, what is it really? At its heart, anthropology is the study of, it's the study of us, all of us. It's this holistic thing that covers literally everything about humans, our biology, how we talk, our societies, our cultures, you name it. And it's not just ancient history. It goes from prehistoric times all the way up to today. It's all about getting the complete human story. Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty. What does a day or, a whole year actually look like for somebody in this field? Because I'm telling you, it's probably way more varied than you think.
Yeah, the job is this awesome mix of adventure and, serious analysis. You could literally be out conducting field work at an excavation site one month, and the very next, you're back in a lab analyzing artifacts. It's also about talking to people, interviewing community members to really get a feel for their lives, then digging through all that data to find cultural patterns. And of course, the super important part, writing it all up so other people can learn from it.
And check this out. What I find so cool here is just how many different places you could end up working. Sure, a lot of folks are in universities, about 30%. But look, a huge chunk of time is spent at actual field sites, in labs, or in museums. And hey, see that little 10% slice for corporate offices? We're going to come back to that. But wow, it just goes to show you how broad this field really is.
Okay, so maybe you're thinking, this sounds amazing. How do I do it? Let's talk about the academic roadmap. And I want to focus on how a background in sociology can actually give you a huge leg up.
So, the Sociology Coach points out that the journey pretty much always starts with a bachelor's degree. Think something like sociology or anthropology. But, and this is a big but, to really break into the field professionally, you're almost always going to need a master's degree. That's really where you get to specialize and hone those advanced skills.
And this, right here, is where that sociology background becomes your secret weapon. Seriously, your classes give you the exact tools you'll need, you'll master research methods, you'll get really good at interviewing, and you'll learn how to analyze data. But it's more than just that. It actually teaches you a new way to see the world, to understand not just what people are doing, but the deep cultural reasons why they're doing it. And believe me, that is a genuine superpower in anthropology. All right, let's get down to brass tacks. Let's talk about the practical stuff, like money and jobs. Because look, pursuing your passion is awesome, but you also want it to lead to a stable and promising career, right? So in 2024, the median annual wage was just under $65,000. That's a really solid financial base for a career that's all about discovery and research. It's one of those fields where your curiosity is actually genuinely valued.
And get this chart really tells a story about demand. Just look at the difference. Job growth for anthropologists and archaeologists is projected at 8%. That's more than double the average for all other jobs, which is sitting at 3%. That's a massive signal that these skills, these unique cultural and analytical skills, are really, really needed.
So where are all these jobs? Well, they're way beyond the university. An anthropology skill set is actually in super high demand for jobs you might not expect. Things like being a museum curator or an international development consultant. Or how about this one? A corporate UX researcher. Think about it. Big tech companies are desperate for people who can actually understand user behavior. So you could end up in healthcare, government, you name it.
Okay, so you're fired up. You're ready to start this adventure. Let's break it all down into a super clear 5-step action plan. This comes straight from the Sociology Coach, and it's all about how to turn this interest into an actual career.
Step 1, you've got to complete that bachelor's degree. But, and the Sociology Coach really emphasizes this, while you're still studying, you have to get hands-on field experience. Look for internships, volunteer work, anything. Step 3 is pursuing that grad degree we talked about. And then here's a huge one.
Develop specialized skills. You've got to find your niche. Maybe it's learning a specific language or mastering some new research tech. That's what's going to make you stand out. And finally, step 5, start building your professional network. Join associations, go to conferences, just get your name out there.
So, whether you picture yourself uncovering ancient secrets or maybe even shaping modern technology, a career in anthropology is this incredible journey into what makes us human. It's not just about looking back at the past, it's really about understanding where we are right now so we can help build a better future. So, with all that said, what questions are still on your mind about becoming an anthropologist or an archaeologist? Let me know. Drop them right in the comments below.